What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Decoding Tom Swift. This is
Yeah.
the third installment of the first season. I am your co-host, Rhayne Coleman. Happy to be discussing this queer ass show, and I have with me today, like I do for every episode, let these folks know who's on the mic with me today. Nope. You there? Lord, did we freeze? M.A.'s. All right, so we probably froze, but we are discussing season one, episode 3. And 9 inches of danger. This this episode, I don't know. So the description is while hosting the tech event of the year, Tom embarks on a daring gambit to stop a security breach, meaning he'll have to get close to mysterious Rowan. Meanwhile, Isaac, Zenzi, and Lorraine look to Tom to shore up the corporation's powerful investors. This episode was fun. This episode was fun. I mean, from start to finish, there was a lot going on. There was a lot, and there were a lot of emotions. Emotions ran high. I think, in comparison to the last two episodes, I'm not going to say like who's better and who's worse, but I will say this particular episode, I think, pushed us even further into the world of Tom Swift in a way that um, in a way that I think is good for the show because it's one thing to have this property. I mean, with the pilot, I think it was very polarizing. There were some extreme thoughts on both ends, like, oh, it's extremely good, and oh, it's just terrible. And I get that. And like M. Haynes said before, the pilot is kind of hard to get off. And I agree because again, regardless of what type of show you're creating, the pilot is just an introduction. It's like you have to jam pack a lot of stuff into it to get people to come back. It's that second, third, fourth, fifth, and episode where you can start telling the actual story. So I will say that this third episode really felt like it's giving you more of what we need. I'll say that even with the first episode, some of the issues that I may have had, I am willing to forgive them because this second and third episode are doing such a good job at like moving the plot, moving the story forward, and giving us this full kind of realization of the world. Um, we have a gala that is thrown because Barton Swift. Well, no, this is a gala that's thrown annually, but Barton Swift is gone, and I love getting more of Claire in this episode, though I do have thoughts. I have thoughts about Claire. She is not my favorite person. That is no secret. But I I loved the way she held her own against Tom. And again, I'm not rooting for Claire at one bit. Well, actually, kind of sort of I am. In the grand scheme of things, I am not. However, when it comes to Claire versus Tom, as a way to like sharpen him and get him ready for challenges of the future, I'm all for it. Like Claire getting his ass, make him work hard. I'm still cringing though when she is rising to the occasion and like doing terrible things to like undermine him. I am, but I'm like, if Tom is not going to get his stuff together and he's not going to act accordingly, and if we need her to, step up and act the fool, and that's just what we need. So kudos to Claire for that regard. But yeah, I don't know. This episode really felt good. And I'm hoping that I think we're only getting 10 episodes this season. I'm hoping that we don't get any filler episodes because only 10 episodes this season. But I'm also hoping that if there is a quote unquote filler episode, like this is it. Though this, of course, moved the needle ahead, moved the plot forward. This being a episode that not introduced, it really solidified a lot of the people's station within the company, the show. Specifically Nathan. I think this show did a good job. Um, I think the show did a good job at having him showing him as a villain initially, and then giving us this other, maybe more exaggerated, not exaggerated, more fleshed out side of him. Because even though he's a villain, and I understand we don't need every villain to be to have this like backstory where you kind of feel for them. I get that, but I do like that even though Nathan is this big evildoer, he's not this like generic I'm racist. Give me a little bit more. Like, okay, have that be part of his whatever, but like, give me a little bit more. And I don't want a boring villain. Um, he is okay. How do I put this? I don't want to say he is boring, but he's not as exciting as I feel like some of the other characters are, but I don't think it's because he's bad. The way I see it is we have so much high energy with all these other interactions with like Tom and Rowan, Isaac, Chris, the what's that name? What is Chris' last name? Not Danbury. What is Darcy? Darcy, yeah. Um, we have so much kind of high energy with all these other people that I think when it comes to Nathan, he is more reserved and sinister. Like I feel like I'm contradicting myself. I do like him as a villain. I'm happy that he's not just plainly I'm a white man who's racist, but I also like that he's a little bit laid back. So we do get all these other exciting villains and antagonists throughout the season, and that he can be that sleeper, whatever. Now, I'll say if he not given, well, I don't know if anyone can give Tobias well, but if he don't pick it up in the next couple episodes or so, I'm going to kind of be done with him and Rowan. Uh, with the with the Rowan working for Nathan, who's working for the road back, and this potentially having Claire even wrapped up in that. Again, another something that I absolutely love about this show is that we are getting something we've never got before. We never, and when I say that, I mean in comic books, we know the stories. You can look at the back issues, you can look at the different arcs, the different universes, the different iterations, and it will tell you this is this and that. You can point to different things. But with Tom Swift, we're getting the brainchild, the love child of this creative team. So though a lot of TV is kind of paint by numbers with beginning, middle, and end, and act one, two, and three, I do like that with Tom Swift. We don't know what we're gonna get. Sure, we might even get an episode where Nancy Drew just pops up, and then that might shake some stuff up. So when it comes to Nathan, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for his role. I want more though. I want more. I understand he's trying to court Zenzi. I understand that he is part of the rollback. I even want to get more into the trenches of the rollback and into the Tubman society group or whatnot. Like, give me history. Let me know, like, where do you guys stand? How do we make it here? And then the revelation later on about like what the rollback truly, honestly wants to accomplish. That sent chills down my spine. I'll say that. I'll say that really got me. And like kudos to the show, but I need I need I need something else because that was dark and it was dark. And it's not like it's something that we haven't heard of before. Like the rollback wants to get us to a place where only they were in power, or how things were back in the day when they were the only ones in power. And that is not something that's unheard of, like you've seen in the different properties and whatnot. But for Tom, these first three episodes have been pretty lighthearted, even with the like spaceship exploding and on the way to Saturn. Even with all of that, it's still been pretty much a lighthearted show. A lot of the issues have been more like interpersonal and like this childhood trauma, but like that, I don't know. Maybe I'm alone, but I know when he said they're trying to get back to a point when only they were in power, you need to get your family together because y'all crossed them and everybody you love can die. Like, again, it is a CW show, but Tom Swift has been really proven or showing that CW really was like go for it. Like go dark, go gayer, go blacker, go more, give me more. Um I'm for it. I hope we get more than what we've been getting from Nathan, and I hope we get more going forward. What's up?
They tried to keep me talking about the gay stuff. They tried to kick me out.
Look, yeah, that's what it was. It was Nathan. Nathan
They
mixed up
did
Yep,
the
got you
way
out of
back
here.
tried to kick me back.
Yep, that was the rollback. Too much technology. I'm trying to told you. I said nothing but that I'm happy that what we got, that where we been, what's going on. Yeah. So, any general thoughts for this third installment of the gayest show on TV?
I have
Yo,
many that might not be appropriate for.
hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. Ugh. Yeah, I truly enjoyed this episode. I like that we're essentially in one spot. We were in one space for the most part, and
Yeah.
a lot of stuff happened. It reminded me of it's going to be very specific, like those soap operas from back in the day. Well, all of them are from back in the day, but older episodes of soap operas when everyone is at one party and the camera is just panning from one conversation to the next. And it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, we loud right here, but can't they hear y'all over there in that corner where we just left? But I that's what it felt like to me. It might be
Yeah,
my nostalgia popping up, but that's the sense I got, and I
I
enjoyed it.
feel
I
it.
enjoyed that. Uh Whew, yeah, so I mean, getting right to it, what's I would like to start with Lino
Okay.
because again, I, it's been okay. So this episode confirmed, but like okay. So Lino is an adopted brother, fine, but
Hmm.
he's also biologically Tom's cousin,
Hmm.
Lorraine's sister's son.
Hmm.
I'm that makes me wonder who was that for. Like this way, you guys went out of your way to like mention he's a cousin, but then he's a brother, but then adopted. Like I wonder who is that for? Is that not for maybe not for black people? Because I don't know. Maybe it ain't even a
I
race
mean,
thing, but it feels clumsy.
no, I'm in line with you. Like, I feel like it over explained something that I
Yep.
feel like a lot of black people would have got.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is why like when they went back and was like, oh, the brother, because like you could have just left him as just a cousin and we would have got it
Mm-hmm.
that he lives with them.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
definitely feel like, I feel like it was like over explaining for not black people.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Because that's where I came down. I was like, this doesn't. In doing that, to me, it felt more confusing. 'Cause I was like, well,
Yeah.
now wait a minute. I don't. I mean, Lorraine ended with like, we don't talk about Bruno, sure, but like, it is what it is. But I was like, I want y'all to give one like explanation and just stick with that, and don't say it several different ways. Just say it
Yeah.
how you saying it. He's my brother, adopted brother, who's my cousin. Just say that and be done. But yeah, we are introducing metahumans, mutants, the enhanced. Um,
Lino took some
Lino,
green light.
not right there. We go. No, he did. And speaking of, the way these episodes are titled feels very much like Black Lightning. Like I was like, wait, this one we. But I mean, I'm not against do what you do. It's cool, but like, I wonder what this naming convention where it's come from, and the 9 inches of danger, and the trip lift off this. Like, what is that? Is that maybe something
So,
Tom Swift specific or? Hmm,
I mean, the titles themselves, like, I'm sorry, 9 Inches of Danger. That was clearly somebody.
that was
Gave me.
nasty. Yes, yes,
But
yes.
I feel like what they're trying to do is the whole, like the example that always pops in my mind is the Harry Potter example, Harry Potter and the
Hmm.
whatever.
Okay.
So I'm
Hmm.
guessing it's like a naming thing based off of the
Mm.
books, like
Oh
Tom
yeah, that
Swift
makes
and
sense.
something of something.
That makes so much sense. What the hell is wrong with me? That makes sense. Like, yeah, okay. I probably would have got there eventually, but thanks. So that makes sense. Um, what is your take on Lino and his spider sense?
I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest.
Okay.
Um, because like because you made a joke like, oh, we're introducing metahumans. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want that in this show. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like if it ends up being like, oh, he's a cyborg. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because that's what it feels like they're getting towards. Like
Yeah.
with the conversation about his mom, and she has some of
Mm-hmm.
the same things. Like, oh, is he a cyborg? Like, where are we going with this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait and see what they do with it. I
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm really, really on the fence because I don't know if we need it. But who knows?
Yeah.
How they do it could be something like, okay, yeah, I rock with this. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it some time and see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I'm in the same boat. I'm not opposed to robotic humans, but with Lino specifically, I'm hoping that's not a part of his backstory, man, because you kind of beat into our head, whether cousin or brother, that there's this familiar tie, and I'm hoping like we haven't been experimenting on Lorraine's sister, or like he's a clone, or like his
Mhm.
consciousness, he's not the original Lino. Maybe there were like two others before. Like I hope that's not where we're going. Um,
Yeah, I can see
but
that.
hey, whatever it is, I'm along for the ride. But if I don't like it, I'm gonna critique it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
just,
I'll let you know I don't
I
like it.
love this show to death, but I'm not going to be a yes man. I'm glad Lino got more screen time. When
Yeah.
Lino was in it, what is it, a fencing battle
Hmm.
match,
Hmm.
and like kind of saw homeboys moves or anticipated him, whatever. The funniest part of this to me was, and I don't know if it's maybe just the way it was shot or like what, but the people who were objecting at the end, and those all sound like black voices. And I was like, this this is weird. This is weird. Because what that man said, he was like, oh no, something ain't, what did he say? Something ain't right, or I don't know. I don't know. It's that's neither here nor there. But I was that in particular, I was like, this feels like, I don't know. I don't know. I ain't
No,
really here for that.
I'm with you. Like, well, I'm with you, but maybe for a different reason.
Okay.
Because I was listening to it when I rewatched the episode. I was listening. I was like, I feel like this probably would have worked better if COVID restrictions weren't in place and like
Yeah.
it was 5 people in
Yeah.
this room.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like
Yeah.
this is supposed to be like this jeering thing, and I was like, it's like three
Mm-hmm.
people talking, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's more than likely what it is. Because I was like, nah, sometimes this just don't. These were like camera crew, so it was like, just say this, like, because ain't no way. It's like, yeah, Tom, Kevin, shout this into the camera, yeah. But I mean, it's still it worked. I got what they were going for, but
yeah,
I I have issues with Tom this episode, and a lot of them begin and end with Lino. But I'm glad Lino got more screen time, and what is it, cornrows, big ass afro. That boy was, how old is he supposed to be?
I don't know.
16 or 22, or like,
Yeah, I
how
don't
old
know.
is this man? Like, I mean, I'll accept that he's a teenager or a very young adult, but like, this is a grown man. Not in the
Yeah,
way that Chris was 45, but this is a grown man because Chris is grown. Um, yeah, so I'm here for Lino. I am interested to see where this story goes. I will say, to tell on myself, when I didn't I didn't understand what they were doing with him, because when that waitress walked past him and dropped that glass, I didn't read that as Lino had heightened abilities. I read it as somebody's trying to poison him and they're using that. Like, I don't. So either
oh,
I'm interpreting this completely wrong, or the show maybe didn't do a good job at getting that point across. But I think I may have been like the smaller camp to think something was happening to him negatively. So maybe the show did what it's supposed to do, and I'm just blonde as fuck because I didn't know what was happening. So
I I got it then. I missed it the first time during the fencing match, or whatever.
Oh
But
yeah.
I got it in because I don't know, like it felt like time was slowing down or something. I watched it.
Okay.
I thought of
Hey.
Flash Time. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm with that. Yeah, I just thought she was like, I don't know, maybe Claire sent her to poison him as a distraction. I
I
was like, oh, I'm
mean,
in the writer's room.
let's not rule that out.
Look, yeah. Um, Nathan. th- okay, Nathan and Zenzi. I have a problem with the show, and I'm waiting to see if I am maybe getting on it too early. I don't like the way Zenzi is being portrayed here. I don't like this idea that I get I was rich, my parents died, the Swifts came in and like that part I don't care because what that it happens. But something
Mhm.
about the way that she is, and how do I put this? She is existing with men. And like there's her and Tom's relationship where it's like they're bumping heads and he's really kind of shitty to her and everyone else. But then when you give her a love interest, and it's like I said before, I didn't feel like it was earned the way that they made it seem like she's this woe is me type girl who just wants to belong. And then you have the congressman, and I even mentioned this with JJ. Shout out to you. We were talking, and our hope is that Nathan is really into her. We know he's evil. I know he's a bad guy, but I don't want Zenzi to be set up to constantly clean up Tom's messes, to not even have a life for herself outside of Tom without it being this evildoer using her to get to Tom. And I'm scared that that's the route we're going. And I even get a little bit of that with Lorraine. And I'm I don't know what to call it. I don't want to say you're like fridging her or you're like really like I don't want to. I want to give it another episode, but I don't like the way that Zenzi and kind of sort of Lorraine are being handled. And maybe it's just, I don't know. Any thoughts? Am I like out of my mind or like what?
No,
Any?
I don't think you're out of your mind. I think I feel it more with Lorraine than with Zenzi,
Okay.
but I can
Mm-hmm.
see what you mean with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Simply because I feel like we've had enough time with Zenzi to where
Okay.
we can see her doing, like you said, existing outside of cleaning up Tom's
Mm-hmm.
mess.
Mm-hmm.
Where it feels like right now, Lorraine exists to be drugged by Claire and to drag Tom.
Fam, I'm sick. I'm sick of it. I'm really sick. I'm sick of Lorraine and Lorraine in the show specifically because it feels like she would be capable. I feel like if you're married to Barton Swift, he didn't marry you because you're pretty. Like, I feel like she should be just as capable. Maybe not. Like, if we're measuring degrees of genius, if he's a 10, I would see if she's lower, she's maybe a 7, 8,
Mhm.
probably a 9. Because, like, how you marry this nigga, like, keep up with. But, like, I don't know. Her characterization is kind of weird because I feel like she should be just as capable, if not more, as Barton. Maybe not in the functionality of like creating and inventing, but like as far as business and stepping up to the plate, to thrust all this on Tom, understandably so, just feels like why aren't you stepping in and taking a more leadership role? Because what else are you doing?
And it felt like they kind of wanted to set us up for that in, I think that was the first episode where
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
she
Yeah.
was like, basically I got to do this myself, but we
hmm
haven't really seen any of that. So yeah.
hmm I'm not a fan of that. I between that and then Claire like being a predator, that shit is like I I don't. Again, I'm going to. I'm enjoying the show. I'm going to watch it more. Watch more. I'm going to finish out the season, but I want better for them. Because Lorraine is in a. Lorraine's character is in a interesting position where you're under the impression that your husband is dead. You're
Mhm.
running this big company, and it's like, what are you doing? And I think that that's hopefully that's something that's coming later. But if not, that is detriment to the not detriment, that's extreme. That I think the show could have or should have done better at establishing what exactly Lorraine has going on. Because even if she's not businessy and she's like, yes, let Claire take over and do her thing, that's fine. But what do you do?
Yeah, like she could be, even if she's not like, if she's not an inventor, if she's not like businessy, at
Mm-hmm.
least be like a PR arm, or like, oh, I'm gonna go talk like first lady type ish.
Yeah,
Like,
there we go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a. I'm not gonna harp on this yet. I'm gonna wait and see what they give it because we have 10 episodes. There is a lot to get through. This episode alone had like 400 things, but not in the way the pilot did.
right.
Um, and we do got the Tubman social group or society, so maybe there's some affiliation there. And I know that she's not the main focus, so I'm not extremely upset, but I am like, I got my eye on y'all because what are y'all doing?
Right.
Uh, I don't know. Either way, I like to see April Parker Jones. I like her in every episode. Give me more of her when Lorraine's not being a helpless, silly ass woman. My God, my God. So this gala or this meeting, we get Justin back. Yeah. What are we? How are we feeling about Justin?
Um, do we want to go there right now? Because there are things to be said.
I mean, okay, maybe because the ending is a bit strong. Rowan, well, that's kind of okay. I'll say Nathan. Nathan, I'm enjoying him as a villain. I think he comes off boring, and I know I just said I enjoy him, but follow me. I think he comes off a bit boring only because the rest of the cast has this high energy, like will they, won't they, love affair, tension stuff going on. And I think him being boring is a good thing. However, we got 10 episodes. I need him to do more. You were evil at the end of episode 1, so we know where your cards are.
Mhm.
You sweet talking Zenzi, cool, but you need to ramp it up because at this point, Rowan is doing more of the heavy lifting,
Yeah.
and I don't understand why. I mean, I get he's the muscle, but like Nathan,
I
what's up?
I I get where you're coming from, but I feel like that's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's like, like big bad, like, you got to get through the
Mm-hmm.
muscle, whatever, to get to him. And he's a
Mm-hmm.
politician, so he's gonna have people doing stuff for him.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I think that one is we probably ain't gonna see him like really, really get stuff in until
Mm-hmm.
Rowan decides that he's gonna, turn around and actually help Tom. Not too much. Not too much.
Yay. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no. I understand. I understand. Rowan, to me, I love his character simply because of, well, him, of course, but like Nathan, Tom, and Barton. Because
Mhm.
though him and Tom seem to have something going on, he told this man outright, no, you cannot trust me. So I like, where's your head at? What are you doing, Rowan? What is your motivation? Like, I'm so intrigued. Like, even if it turns out I'm evil and I just want to kill, sure, fine. But I'm like, I want to know. I want to
Yes.
know. I want you to, Rowan.
Not
That's
too much of
that's
my
all
man.
you. You
Not too
got.
much of my man.
No, you're right. You're right. But I enjoyed him. I really did, and I like seeing him on screen. And I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I think like, am I extremely biased because I'm just loving this representation? Like, it's a good show. I get that, but I'm like, damn, I'm just like, oh, I'm just happy to see these niggas on screen. So I'm just taking anything. But this is truly like, it's good. I'm enjoying it. But like, when you get the third act like you did in this episode, it's like, where are we going from here? Like, is episode 10 full on OnlyFans behind the paywall?
What?
This is what you like. What is happening?
Let's writers. Let's do it.
Hey, hey, I'm saying, so how do you feel about Rowan this episode? Yo, yeah.
um, Amazing, fantastic, never seen before, groundbreaking, world shattering.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. All of that.
Oh,
All of that.
but nah. I think it's really interesting, kind of what they're setting it up. Like when I rewatched it, I had to look back doing like doing him and Tom's big scene together because I missed it the first time. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
who kicked who first?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is really kind of giving me an idea of what the dynamic maybe kind of being. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's obvious that he likes Tom. It was
Mm-hmm.
obvious from the first thing around. I feel like he's battling that, and he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
know, like, even looking at what happened, like skipping ahead, like what happened towards the end when he was telling
Mm-hmm.
Nathan, like, I might have another way in. To maybe I'm biased, but that looked
Mm-hmm.
remorseful to me. It was like,
Hey.
I know, but I don't want to do this, but I know I have to do
Mm-hmm.
it this way.
See.
So I'm
Okay.
really intrigued as to what they're gonna do with his character and his relationship with Tom going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's gonna be like the meat of our like conflict, like villain wise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can see that. And funny enough, like I get what you're saying on that ending scene. I read it not completely different, but I read it more or less like I can use Tom to get in, like romantically. But I, being biased, was like, oh, he just wanna fuck around with Tom more and like quote unquote kill two birds with one stone, but like use that as a way to have permission to be
Mhm.
as physical and
Yeah,
romantic with Tom. I was like, either way,
I mean,
there's a whole lot of
either way we win.
hey, right,
I
love
see this as a
wins.
complete win.
Happy Pride. No, this, yeah, no, this is it. Their scene together is okay. So even let me take a couple steps back. At the convention, I don't know what is this. The event, the annual event, which is the first one that Barton is not here for.
Mhm.
So what I think this episode did really well is establish, or no, not even establish, show us without telling us that Tom is irresponsible. We understand what he was doing, spending the whole episode trying to save Barclay from being completely corrupted by the rollback and Nathan and Rowan, all that. But I think this is the first time they actually showed us a reason why Lorraine and others would have an issue with him. Because that
Yeah,
Tubman Society shit from the funeral, I
yeah,
was like, okay, now this is ridiculous. But
yeah.
this, even though we saw his side and we understand what it is he was doing and why he was doing this, it still to me felt good seeing this on screen and seeing someone say, no, like you disappointed me and knowing why. So first off, kudos to him there, or to the show rather. This Swiftcella, Beachella, Tom Swift Homecoming, Afrofuturistic, HBCU Homecoming, um, uh, I don't know, surrealism.
Mhm.
The Rise Up app, virtual reality, one eye lens app thing. I wanted more of that. I wanted
Yes.
more of that. I that has to be where all the money went for this episode because there were so many people in that scene, like physically,
Yes.
and I thought Zenzi, excuse me, Zenzi was one of the majorettes, Jay setters. I thought she was one of them, like when they did the preview or whatnot.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Rise Up's virtual, what Mark Zuckerberg wanted Meta to be
Right.
performance?
Hmm. Um, well, HBCU grad, so I'm biased.
Come on.
Um, I, I wanted more, like
Mm-hmm.
in the like I wanted more in the sense like, oh, if you're gonna do this, like do it. Like give me
Mm-hmm.
horns blaring, drum line,
Yes.
like have the people scrubbing the ground, like
Mm-hmm.
you gonna give it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I understand, just tight confined space, probably tight confined budget, so I get it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's stuff like that that I'm like, okay, this is how you kind of like sprinkle in like the black stuff without it being like what are you trying to do type deal. Because of
Mm-hmm.
course, because of course, somebody like Tom would be like, "Oh, how am I going to show off this thing? I'm going to bring an entire HBCU band into the living room."
Yes, yes, yes. And I will say, I agree with you. I
Mhm.
wanted louder horns. I wanted them moving all across. But I get even not even with like COVID types of just like I guess what do you call it? I don't work in TV, but when they frame certain shots because you do want the people to line up in virtual reality the same way they line up when you're looking at them in real time. So I get that. So maybe that has something to do with it. But
Yeah.
either way, I wanted some majorists on that stage. And now that that's been established and this show is gay as hell, I want Tom at a ball. I want Jay Setters. I
Come
want
on, come
Bogus. I
on,
want
come on.
Legendary. I want Paris is Burning. I want all that. I want it. I look. If we gonna have another big event space that isn't, the Black Ranch in episode 4, I want all that. Give me all that
Yes,
shit. Even if it's
yes.
making a drag show and get all the black
Go
and
for
brown
it.
drag girls. But yes, I like that, and I do hope we get more instances like that. Maybe not through the Rise Up app, but just in general.
Mhm.
How do you feel this show? How do I put this? With this show, how do you feel they are? How black do you think it is? And not like black, um, like what's up, yo, dog type black. But like when you're looking at the show, is it does it seem like it's just a billionaire family and they are black, or do you feel like they've infused a lot of blackness into the show?
Mhm. I think the best way I can do this is to give it on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
I think we are right now floating around like a between like a 6 or 7, like
Mm-hmm.
on that sort of blackness, because there's stuff that's like sprinkled in,
Mm-hmm.
especially from what we're talking about or whatever have you.
Yeah.
But there's definitely room for more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. And I would agree. I would agree because I do feel like this show is very black just by nature of the cast being black. And but even and this isn't a dig at the show, but I think you could switch out all of the characters. You might not have the same show, but I think at its core, billionaire family, father
Yeah.
in space, son gay, trying to figure. Like I think you get the same story, but I do think it is a black story that's being told. So that's cool. So I'm okay. Okay, cool. We're essentially on the same page there. Let's get into Rashida Jones. Now, when Zenzi said
You
when
don't.
Zenzi said nah, that's Rashida Jones. I don't care what nobody say. I'm sorry to that actress. I didn't even like learn her name and forgive me. I'll put it in the show notes, but that woman is Rashida Jones. The multiverse is open. That's her. That's her. Like that's not.
Not Rashida Jones variants.
Man, come on, because she was just a little younger. Well, a lot younger, but younger than Rashida. That's Rashida. When Zenzi said, "Oh, she's just like you, just with I think she said 6-inch extensions or something," why do I
Yeah.
think this is gonna be a black girl? I I really thought we was gonna get a black woman version of Tom Swift, but
I did
I
too.
mean, I'm cool. I'm cool with Rashida. I just thought, but maybe ain't Rashida like, well, whatever. I ain't getting to that. How do you feel about how do you feel about this Rashida Jones variant?
I mean, honestly, I had forgot that she was there when she came back at
Mm,
the end.
yes.
But I also kind of feel like that may have been intentional.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Um. I liked her. Well, okay, so I have an issue with her, but it's not the show. It's the show's fault, but it's not the show's fault because this happens with a lot of shows. I don't like when there's a character like because she mentioned, "Oh, I follow you on Instagram. I came here to see you. I don't follow Claire." Like she kept mentioning. They set it up so that Tom had known her for a while, and I
Mhm.
don't need you to mention every single person in the first episode, but that to me didn't feel true. I was like, no, you just wrote her in for this episode. And I'm like, will she be important later? or was she just the MacGuffin of the week? And it's not nothing against the show because it's not the only show that does that. And for me,
Mhm.
it's just not to my taste. I don't like that.
I agree with that, but for different reasons. Like
Okay.
they felt like they didn't know each other. Like the time that they enter. No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Like the times that they interacted, like it didn't feel like they had known each other for years. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect him to like to bounce off her like he did Zenzi. I mean, like he does
Yeah.
Zenzi. That wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
that wouldn't be realistic. But it felt like they was just meeting for the first time that night.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree. Um, I don't know. They just, you're right. Because it was, I can accept it for the show, but it definitely didn't seem like they were childhood friends or they knew. Because even the way, well, I was going to say the way Zenzi described her, but you can, whatever. I don't know. That's weird.
Mhm.
However, I did like the way she kind of cut in the time at the end.
Oh yeah,
And this is why I say I think the show did a good job at actually showing us that Tom is irresponsible or perceived to be that way. And I love that though Claire is the villain, she really wasn't the villain this episode. Like a lot of the issues that were had were because of Tom.
hmm
I think we can infer that she did mess with the little champagne pen. And we already, her and Lorraine, well, that's a whole nother thing. But like
right.
as far as her messing him up or jamming him up, I don't feel like she did a whole lot.
No,
Like she was
um,
focused on being the face of the company this episode.
right.
So,
Like, and that kind of takes me back to when I was talking when you asked me like what did I think about her. Like,
hmm
I think the show did a good job of honestly, I think the show did a good job of making us forget that she was there because we were focused in on what was going on with.
hmm
So when she came
hmm
back, I was like, "Oh yeah, you was supposed to be." Oops. That's
Yo, no,
why
it was
I feel like that was intentional because it was like,
yeah. Oh, I'm with it. I'm with it. But she told him, she's like, I can't. My dad was supporting your dad. I was here supposed to support you. I'm not here
yeah,
for Claire. I'm here for you. So get your shit together. And I like that mainly because she's his peer.
hmm
And after getting the interactions with Chris last episode, who's his peer, who's his babysitter, and then getting this interaction with her, and it's like there's varying degrees of like wealth and maybe responsible. No, that's not it. But either way, with wealth and how it's being managed at a certain age demographic, and though though Tom is doing things that are important, like saving Barclay, when she said, I don't have the faith in you, but she mentioned like the Instagram followers and this and that. Maybe that was for the young kids, but I love that last kind of conversation because it was like, yeah, you are really messing up the bag, and it's not coming from someone who's like, oh, I love you, I'm trying to see you do better. No, like nigga, you messing up.
yeah,
You're not gonna get my money. There's no,
yeah,
I can't do this. You don't instill confidence. So I just like that
yeah,
scene. I like
yeah.
that. Oh, that was hard. It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. Uh, I would like to discuss Tom and Lorraine hugging after that. How how do you feel? So when Lorraine, so Tom is not talking to Lorraine about Barton being alive because of the potential
hmm
danger she could be in. I get
hmm
that. But when Lorraine asks him, like, hey, what the hell is wrong with you? You supposed to be this, that, and the third, and then he starts crying, talking about his dad. Do you feel like that was genuine to the character, or was he saying that to like use the emotional angle to like kind of get out of trouble with her?
Hmm. So before you ask that, I would have said 100% the second thing.
Okay.
He was just using that to basically to get out of the situation.
Yeah.
But now you got me wondering, like, it was there some truth to that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
See, I think both are true. I think because he knows his dad is alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've already addressed, like, prior to knowing that, how he thought he was dead and it was his fault, but then realizing he's alive and he, like, kind of got into, I'm just going to make sure I get my dad back. I think the way I see it is he does have that stress of, like, damn, my dad is still gone. But I think Lorraine, safety being in jeopardy if he lets her, I think that for me, I think that's where I perceive the sadness and the tears coming from. Is that, like, it's easier to just put it on my dad being dead, quote unquote, being gone. Though these feelings I have are really for you and your safety. Because if I tell you,
Mm-hmm.
ain't no time, I
Mm-hmm.
might be an orphan, you know. So, like,
Yeah, yeah, I feel it.
so I think both are true. Because I
Okay,
was mad, like, are
okay,
you just using this? But I was like, man, wait a minute. Tom ain't that type of dude. He say what the hell's on his mind. Ugh,
okay.
this
Yeah, I
hurts.
get it. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, this hurts. This hurts, man. I just yeah. That. So I guess let's get to Rowan and Tom and their sung and dance, if you
Uh-huh.
will, on the what is the thing that Juliet was in that little Juliet Tower? This
Now
love,
it
this
is.
yeah, that love lost. Um, how are we? How did you take this scene?
Very well. Very well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, but not like I think I said when we was live tweeting, I was like, this is foreplay. Do y'all know this?
Man. Yes, you are not wrong. Um, oh God, Cameron, the co-creator and writer, had mentioned him and the official Tom Swift writers Twitter account, which is they're hilarious, by the way. Both
Yes.
mentioned this is the gayest, sexiest scene, like episode. So when Rowan and Tom were starting to do their thing, I was like, "Oh, hold up, are we about to fight?" And then, so,
And then fight.
so I'm with you. That was definitely some. Now I'll say this, guys, please, don't put your hands on your lovers and this and that. But this is a fictional show. These things do happen in real life, and I'm not romanticizing domestic violence at all. However, with this scene, that was some foreplay.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was some foreplay. Ah, uh, I just knew they was gonna start fucking. I'm gonna just say it. I just
Yes.
knew they was gonna get out them clothes.
All it would have took was one more good push, and they'd have been up against the
Hey,
wall. I'm listening. It is what it is.
look, we needed his DNA to open that phone, so there's more than one way to get that.
And
Look,
that actually brings me to a question.
yeah.
Do you think do you think that Tom like did all of that to get to that point, or was he like really mad and just took advantage of the opportunity?
I think he was mad because of Barclay, but I
Mhm.
think it's both. Because when he had that, like, false lip thing on to get Rowan's DNA, I was like, I get the. See, he's into Rowan though, so, like, I'm thinking he was like, "Hey, by any means necessary," and let me
Yeah.
take. So I think both are true. I think he was really upset because Barclay was dying, for lack of a better term. He was, like, dying slow, like, faster. But
Mhm.
getting Rowan alone, like, that text, "Meet me at the observatory alone," like that, because you could have just stepped outside. You could have went to the backyard. You could have went to the driveway, but you decided to go to your man cave where no one. Which, how did he have access? But whatever. You decided to go to that man cave by yourself with this man who you are attracted to, and so I think he was just two birds with one stone. I'm gonna get your DNA one way or the other, but we gonna be alone in this space like we were in episode one. So
Yes.
Tom nasty. He a
Is
nasty boy. He nasty,
but I am not a
trashy,
fan. I am.
sleazy, classy, nasty, but no, he a freak.
Hmm.
He a something. I I loved it though. I love that scene, and
Oh, I adore it. Oh, yes.
This is so not minor, really, but it happened. It wasn't a huge part of the scene. But when Tom said, "Should I trust you?" and Rowan said, "No," and he damn near tried to quote unquote kill himself, but
Mhm.
Rowan grabbed that. I was like, you know what? This must be what my peers felt when we were in middle school, reading and watching romance stuff. He really liked him. He really wanted to see him. I was like, oh,
Oh my
okay.
God, yes.
My heart melt. I'm finna write Rowan name on my trapper. Like I was really like, okay,
Yeah.
this is, and that had nothing to do with sex. And I say that, and I think it's important to say that because even though Tom been getting it in,
Mm.
a lot of times when queer characters, specifically gay men, are portrayed on TV, it is with this promiscuous, I don't know, air about that. I don't know, whatever. A lot of
Mhm.
times that's it, and it has been like historically as how a lot of gay men have been portrayed. And though there is a lot of sex in this show, a lot is relative. Though there is sex in this show, I think it's not more than what heterosexual counterparts get in their
Oh, it's
other
less.
CW shows.
It's
But I
less.
do think there we go because I've seen quite a
Mhm.
few
Mhm.
cable appropriate sex scenes on CW and other shows.
Mhm.
So no, I think that it is important to point out when you do have those like kind of moments of intimacy or attraction that are not steeped in sex because a kiss is not sex, though it can lead to it. You know that
Mhm.
kiss was something. Whatever. Let me relax because I
No, because
hear.
no, but I 100% agree with you, and all biases to the front. Like it was a hot ass scene, like it just was,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
like yes, it very much looked like it was going to lead to sex, but there was also, I think, a
Mm-hmm.
chemistry between the two of them,
Yes.
like that is something that you don't see very often.
Mm-hmm.
Between queer men, black queer men, dark skinned black queer men, like all of
Come
that.
on. Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it was good also for that, because just like them, what he said, what's the 9 inches from danger, like
Yeah.
them that close, like do it for that extended period of time, like that's a level of like chemistry and like romance and like sexual tension that
Mm-hmm.
really just kind of shows just like what this show can achieve.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a romance trope that is enemies to lovers, and I can definitely see this. I
So
look.
let's do
I
it.
want it. I want it. Look, I'm Team Isaac all day long, but if Tom and Rowan gets it in, I'm still
Let's
front
go.
row. That ain't no matter. Never mind. I'm front row. I want all of it. Um, yeah. All in all, I really did enjoy this scene. I but I mentioned before the thing that kind of messed me up with this scene is not even Rowan and Tom. It's that Rowan mentioned like, yeah, you might make a little piece of technology that might get under the rollback skin, but they want to take us back to a time when they were the only ones in power, which to me,
Mhm.
read white folks is trying to take us back. But I went to slavery. I said, "Oh, they trying to." So that's where I went. Like I was like, "Oh no, 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 no."
Oh, you went way back.
Hey, that messed me, and I was, and it's canon to me, it's my head canon that that's where the rollback is trying to go, because there's no, you got, think of it, you got the Swifts and the Darcys. You can talk shit about them all day long, but they are a wealthy,
Mhm.
staple black family in this society, in this community.
Mhm.
Two powerful black families within, essentially next door neighbors.
Mhm.
And you got the Tubman social group or Tubman society. Like we've seen a lot of blackness, and I think it cannot be. I don't think we exist in a world where okay, walk with me. Black
Okay.
people are just wealthy in the sense that, like, if you are watching, let's say, Gossip Girl, a lot of them
Mhm.
white people was just wealthy white folks at this school. I don't think that's the world we're in. I think that's the world we're presented, but I think that the Tom Swift universe is just like ours. We just happen to catch this story from this point of view of this wealthy black family. That
Mhm.
being said, it got to be some folks that hate
Oh yeah.
that they have this wealth and that they're black.
Oh
And the
yeah.
Darcys, villains or not, you niggas ain't light skinned at all. So You know what I'm saying? You ain't racially ambiguous. You both of these families,
Mhm.
we coming for you, and you both are dealing with STEM. You're both in engineering. You're both in minerals and in gasoline, shit that make the world go round.
Right.
So
Cut it
I
out.
say,
No, I'm with you because I definitely read that when Rowan said that. I definitely read that. I was like, oh, so they don't want y'all black asses in power. Okay, I
hey,
understand. I see where we're going. Okay.
which makes me so. I'm not even angry at Rowan. It just makes me more interested. Why are you here then? What is in your backstory that puts you here? Are you a Tubman social group sleeper agent? Is Claire a rollback sleeper? Like, what is happening?
If I can make a prediction, I have no
Come on.
idea it could be anything like this. Like thinking back to that thing that he said in the first
Mm-hmm.
episode is like, I want to see something beautiful, every day. Talking about, I think he was talking about his nails or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like what they're gonna end up telling us is that he comes from like a place where things are not as good,
Mm-hmm.
and he's afraid of being like taken back to that place. So he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
align himself with whoever he needs to.
Mm.
He don't get screwed over. He don't get put on the road back.
I like that. I hope that's it. Because you're absolutely right. I like that because it's very different from a place that's not that great, and I'm doing illegal things to survive. Yeah, you're
Mm,
doing bad illegal stuff, but you're doing it with folks who have like him, much like Isaac. I want to know, how did you get here? Because he
mhm.
did say that I come from a not so beautiful place. What credentials and what on in your path got you to Nathan? Same thing
Right.
with Isaac. I don't know anything about your past except you had an ex-girlfriend and you were a Marine. How did you
Mhm.
get to Tom? Like, so yeah, I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
I like that. That's my
All
head
right.
canon today. Yeah, look, hey, hold up. Okay, it's kind of far away, but I was gonna pull them books out now. Like, come on, the receipts is here. That that would be cool. That would be so cool. So I wonder. Yeah, I'm interested in. I'm hoping we get some of his backstory. Maybe they saving something for season 2, but I would like to get
Yeah.
some of that,
Yeah.
Rowan backstory. Um, do you have anything else to say about your good beau, your good boo, bae?
I mean, I don't think we have enough time for me to just start gushing, but no, like
No, hey.
thing, I'm very interested in seeing where his character goes from here. Not just
Mm-hmm.
because I want to see more of him, but like I think it'll be really interesting to see what they do with the character.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree. I agree. Um, Especially he's muscle who wear them nails. Like, come on, I love that. Like, whoop him ass.
Oh,
So
also
yeah,
that you mentioned the nails. I like Tom's nails in this episode.
yes. Come on, man. Yeah. Oh, they doing it with
Mhm.
this imagery, these visuals. They are killing it. And his blouse, his see through blouse. I was like, all right, I see
Yes.
you. Feminine top versus I don't know whatever. I ain't gonna do that. But I see you, Tom. I see you, Boo. Um, I didn't like them shoes though.
Yeah.
But getting to
Uh-oh.
the end. So
Okay.
Justin came back this
Uh-huh.
episode. Um, him and Tom's interactions to me in the beginning were weird, and not weird in a bad way, just weird in a way that I didn't expect them to take that route. Because in the first episode, they messed around at the
Mhm.
funeral, but prior to that, they had a little bit of flirt going on. Um, when Justin showed up in his white suit, Tom mentioned something. He said, "Oh, this is something I just put on." So I'm, oh, and Tom says, something. I lost my phone if you've been calling me. And Justin was like, "Oh, I haven't." And so I'm not against it, but that back and forth that they had felt to me didn't feel like the Tom and Justin from episode 1. Um, I don't know, because I felt like there was more, but I could be wrong. Again, this is not a critique. It's just something that I picked up on. I was like, I don't know.
What do
I
you
loved it
mean?
regardless.
It didn't feel like it. Like it didn't feel like the Yeah.
Like that was their relationship. And I understand the relationships change, but to me, the way I read them, not that they was like star-crossed lovers, but I read them from episode 1 on into you. Um, I've been watching you in the media, and Tom, I like what you're doing, what you stand for. We hooked up, and then even when he like needed that those files on the rollback and whatnot, even that scene felt a little bit more friendly than the first scene in this episode. I didn't feel like they hated each other, but it felt like they were like kind of.
See, because I read that as flirty. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh,
no, yeah,
okay,
yeah. But I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm being too sensitive, but for me, it did read as flirting to me. But if I don't know. Maybe I don't have the words to get this out yet, but it just felt a little bit more. It didn't feel as soft. I'll say that for lack of a
okay,
better term. It
okay,
didn't feel as
okay.
soft as they did
No,
initially.
I
It
feel you.
felt, yeah. So I don't know.
Okay,
I'm not
I
against
see
it though.
from that.
Mhm.
I see where you're coming from.
Mhm.
I could understand. I can understand like you got to be somebody like Tom. I feel like you have to be like a little more
Oh yeah.
aggressive, I guess. Uh,
Mhm.
but I have a theory.
Uh,
Somebody
come on.
kind of offhandedly mentioned this, like during the live tweeting
Mhm.
on Tuesday, what have you.
Mhm.
That I don't know if I trust Justin. And when I rewatched the episode, I was like, I don't know if I trust Justin now.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's something about how he just kind of popped up and was like, oh, I'll be the tour thing. And I watched
Mhm.
him in that scene where Tom was fixing the champagne. And I was like, did you do something to this
See, that's
pen?
exactly where I was going because we've seen Claire be evil. We've
Mhm.
seen her do stuff, but that we did not see. And when he even brought up, "Oh, you over here looking guilty because you messed up my wife," she never confirmed. She never. Well, she was acting coy, but we've seen her be a menace.
Mhm.
So the way he ran in was like, "Oh, don't tell me we need to use regular glasses." Yeah. So, hey, you read my mind.
And see, and when you bring that up, like it's two kind of issues with Claire being the one who did this. One,
Mm-hmm.
why you make yourself sick? And two, like what do you get out of, because at this point, if this was to go out and to make everybody
Come
in
on.
the party sick, it's
Mm-hmm.
also gonna look bad on you.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you set
Mm-hmm.
yourself up for failure like that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. You're right. So I don't and another thing, and I'm not a Claire fan, but I have to call a spade a spade. I have to.
Yeah.
I like Britney the actress, but I'm not a fan of Claire. The other thing is I don't like what Claire is doing, but I think I'm more understanding of why she's doing it. Because
Mhm.
even though she is very qualified, I get the impression she's been with this company for let's say 5 years at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't mess up the champagne, well, whatever. But even to her scenes with Lorraine, if Swift Enterprises goes under, this is assuming she's not a part of the rollback. If
Mhm.
Swift Enterprises goes under, yeah, you could get another job, but who wants to like this is your work. You put work into building Swift to be what it is. If
Mhm.
even if in a small part. So if you're fighting so hard to be the leader of this company and it goes under we don't get the money or whatever, that's time wasted. Again, assuming
Yeah.
she's not part of the rollback, that's your 5 years wasted. That's energy
Mhm.
wasted. Like you,
Mhm.
even going to another company, you've already built up your reputation here. We
Yeah.
know you here. You are Claire. You are XYZ. Even if
Mhm.
you get the same position in another company, you brand new. You have to
Yep.
come in and break these people in. You got to learn them. This is the evil you know versus the so. I don't
That's
think it
it.
was Claire. I think Justin thick ass did that.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
And you said it completely
Look,
correct.
hey,
We're
Justin
gonna
is.
get.
See the fact that he had files on the rollback and was just so casually. Oh yeah, I just for me. knowing this, and it either is the way the actor gave the lines, which I don't want to put it on him, but he was too cavalier for me. To be a black lawyer working in whatever the hell he do, but in the same spaces as a Tom Swift, as a Chris Darcy, to be in those spaces and to get information like that and be like, oh, this is what they're trying to do. It's like, nigga, you need to be heated because they coming for you next and let you in on it, mixed race boy. I don't know, Justin. You need to show me some baby pictures. So I don't know. What if he's Nathan's son? I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna shout. I'm gonna fucking shout. If Justin is Nathan's son, I'm gonna start punching air. I'm
hit the floor.
Yeah. He really would take after his daddy. But no, I'm not trusting Justin. Now.
He's the one that that is trying to kill two birds with one stone. He's the one that's trying to get in close to him and fuck around at the same time.
Hey, because these. Before getting into that motorcycle scene, Tom is so focused. He's laser focused on one thing, and like that's what's most important. Rowan and Justin are two people who are not in the inner circle who have been in that observatory. Yes, we got this sexy briefs on a motorcycle scene, but Justin was left to his own devices in that observatory for at least an hour. Barclay has been compromised once already. Justin is clearly smart enough that he's, established some things and got some stuff going for himself. And he's the one you least expect. I don't trust him. He ain't that thick. I don't trust him. So we get a scene of them on a motorcycle, Justin in these little bikini briefs, all black.
Now
I want to see the behind the scenes for that scene because
they said it was like this went on for much longer and there were many more things going on in this scene.
See,
I need a director's cut.
That's what I want. I said put it behind a paywall on OnlyFans if that's what you have to do. I need to see what happened. Justin was not on my radar, and I think we talked about this. It was Isaac and Rowan for Tom. And after that scene, I said, okay, I get it.
I understand.
I'm with it. I understand. Like, get it how you live. Get it. Yes. Because that was a nice scene. That was a hot scene. And I'll say to the show's credit, this is a cable TV show. This is not HBO. This is not some R-rated show. But they did a really good job at getting the point across, getting the heat, getting the intensity, the sensualness. Yes, they gave you sex without giving you sex, and I'm speechless. So,
listen, I'm pretty sure at this point that Justin is a double agent and he betrayed Tom.
I thought you were going to say a bottom. Oh my God, where the fuck am I?
Where's my head? However, I mean that too, but but I can't make the main not fine. I can't make the main not. I can't change that. The band was fine draped across this bike. It just
is covered in champagne. Yes.
For that moment in time, I probably would have ignored the fact that he's probably most likely a villain. Because why not?
007 been doing it for decades. So I feel like, hey, get it how you live. Get it in. Yeah, I really did like that scene. And I know somebody's gonna do it, but I want a super cut at the end of the season, a super cut of all of these scenes between whoever in these compromised, high intensity, body on body positions.
the Gen Z gays are putting together I'm gonna say a compilation right now.
Them fan cams.
Fan cam, that's what it is. They're putting together
Yes.
fan cam right now.
I'm with it. I am with it, and I can't wait. I want more, and I want more because like this isn't something that you ordinarily see, and what between these types of characters, because if you do, it's on something like an HBO Max. It's not on something that is just rarely accessible to everyone. I think it's very important to have these scenes be shown with the same regard as a Nancy Drew or a Gossip Girl or a The Originals or whatever the hell else is on this dang on network. Because why not? Why not? And I want to see more sapphic scenes too. Where are the lesbians? I understand but bring on the lesbians. Where is our sisters? No, I want to see some of that intimacy as well. Like,
Yes.
not that this show is. Let me be clear. Does not have the weight of the whole LGBTQI community on its back. You don't have to represent every single thing, but like, give me some black lesbians that's doing some things.
Even if it's just a 1 episode thing, it's fine.
Like let it be there. Show us you're gonna go there. Because this scene definitely proved what Cameron said when CW said go further, go blacker, go gayer. And they did that. And
okay.
I loved it. I thought it was a chef's kiss of a scene.
And I also want to point out that this is like episode 3.
Yes. yes, episode 3. This ain't 7. This ain't the mid-season finale. This is 3. We're in the first arc still. So like
we still a lot of people names.
Oh my god. Right, yes. Say that. Because I definitely don't know Rashida Jones' variant name. But shout out to you, girl. You are lovely. Yeah. Yes. I want more for Zenzi too. I want her with a man or a person, because she might.
Whoever.
I don't know what she doing, but I want her to be loved. I want to see her loved and cared for in a way that is for her specifically. I don't want any other person to be a reason why. Like, be with her for her, even if it's Nathan Waterhead ass. I'm sick of that. I'm speechless. I'm sorry. I'm loving this show. I'm loving it. The imagery, the wardrobe. Come on. Like Lorraine's dress, even her robe when she turning in for the night. Which, why are you doing that with an audience in Claire? But I don't know. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this show. I'm such a fan. Jesus Christ. I would like to discuss Claire and Lorraine's situation. I put out a tweet, a graphic earlier today, asking, though, and I'm not making excuses, though Claire is a evil, heinous person, is there a world where her and Lorraine are a thing? Because it really feels sexual. Like,
there's some variant universe where they're married with a family.
I just wish Lorraine was smarter. I don't like this. I don't like this.
I feel like I could accept it if it was set up more.
Okay.
I feel like, because Claire is constantly saying, I'm your friend, I'm your friend, I'm your friend. I don't get that. And I feel like if I believed that they were friends, I could buy it. But I don't.
Okay, I can see that. I don't like it, and it's not even because it's happening. It's because of Lorraine's role in this. Because maybe I would be more accepting if there was some sort of flirty chemistry that they had when Barton was on Earth, where it was like, oh, wait a minute. Where I would kind of be like, oh, what's going on? So that when that scene came back later, it would to me make more sense that you are around this house halfway naked, ready to go to bed, and Lorraine, Claire's just here in her power suit. Like, why are you here? It is 11:30 at night. Get out of my house. Like, what are you doing? I like so maybe if it was this like I'm being vulnerable with Claire and I'm open to her and I had feelings for her and then now that my husband is presumably gone, maybe I can be a little bit like I don't know because I don't buy it that Lorraine or a Lorraine person would just be like, oh, here I am in my robe, about to go to sleep, and I'm like chilling with Claire. Like, I'm sick of Claire. Oh, I don't like that girl. So I don't know. I'm not for it. And also, her letting this woman touch her lips. Like, man, does COVID exist in this world? If not, that's fine. But still, like, don't do that. Like, you gay, Lorraine. Y'all gay. That's nasty. Y'all nasty. Mm-mm. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. It was an interesting episode, and Claire getting Lorraine to sign over the rights or sign her over as a not a power of attorney, but as a what do you call that?
I call
Where
it was
Tom is her ward.
what's the thing? Conservatorship.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it seems like. So I'm expecting for some ish to hit the fan. Which two things. Either like how are you going to hide this? And then if you don't hide it, how are you going to explain this? Because true enough, Lorraine might have signed a paper to make Claire oversee Tom. But if you didn't sign a paper for Claire to take over the company and you, Lorraine, not have any parts, then how is this going to work? Because this is going to come out that like what's happening. So is Claire just going to be this evil? I don't know.
Because my thing is, okay, you've done this because clearly it doesn't work like all the time. The little mind
Mm-hmm.
control thing clearly don't work all the
Mm-hmm.
time. So when she come back through, when Lorraine comes back too, and you're trying to enforce this, Claire, how are you going to explain to her that she didn't sign this?
Yeah, this is weird. This is weird.
I mean,
Like,
we'll see how they do it, but
yeah, yeah. If they had a relationship or a will they won't they type situation, I would be more accepting. But I don't know. Either way, I want Claire's jawbone cracked. I want her collarbone inverted because she deserves a foot to the throat, and that's what I'm saying on that. I ain't a fan. But Brittany is doing a good job bringing this woman to
yes,
life. So
yes.
kudos to you, Brittany. Though I hate your character, you're doing a really good job. And even with her, I want to see how did she get here? Like, how did you get to the point where you're working for Swift Enterprises? Like, even if you are part of the rollback, what is your training that brought you here? So, kudos.
I feel like that type of thing probably won't happen until we get what you talked about them being her and Tom working together as friends.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, when Tom find out she poisoning his mama, I hope he go to work on that ass. Oh,
Please.
jumper. You and Zenzi and Isaac and Lino just jump her. Just whoop her ass. With Lorraine in mind, I do want to mention, I think you said yeah, where Claire was pretty much like, we don't talk about Bruno, and then Isaac was like, oh, this is Bel Air and I'm Jeffrey. I'm gonna call up anyway. Lorraine is like,
why is she beefing with another sister?
there we go. Yeah, that's what I was like. No, you're absolutely right. Like at this point, it's April's fault. The actress, it's you, because you are the common denominator. April Parker Jones,
Like,
you are the problem.
You need to call Iyanla to put you back with your sister because apparently,
that is so funny to me, and I want to see that. That's also another part of the lore that I want to see explored more. And is that why we're on the farm for episode? I truly did not see the preview for episode 4. So I just saw them on the farm. I was like, is this where Lino mom lives? Because Lino's like, I want to see my mom. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
I try not to watch like previews for these shows. I want to go in and see
Right.
what they give me. But I did see a farm because I saw Thomas some cowboy heel boots, and I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, yeah. For me, not much like you. I don't like to watch those either, but like trying to come up with like marketing stuff for Thomas, I'm like, I want to at least get one shot from the particular episode. But then it's very kind of nerve wracking because I might accidentally spoil something for myself. It's like, oh god. So that's the risk I run. But I'm with you. Like, I don't want to know anything. Just give me something. Let me know if it's a finale, a mid-season finale, sure. But like, don't tell me nothing. Just don't tell me nothing. Yeah, that's that. So what any more stuff things?
I'm looking forward to more scenes between Tom and Rowan and Tom and Justin.
I just want to be down with what they going through. I just want to be down. Just want to be down with you all. Okay. So yes, I want more of that as well. Um what do we have here? We have chaos. Chaos. Okay, let's see. Claire said there's not enough homophobia in the world. Stop her from wait a minute. Andre Asante, he says, Claire said there's not enough homophobia in the world to stop her from seducing that job out of Lorraine. Bam! You are not wrong.
Or by crook.
Oh my god. Hold on. I'm trying to get to, what's wrong with this app? Come on. I get to the okay. Get the back ah get the back beat on the bike seat. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, show out time. Justin is definitely a bottom. That's why he is king. Oh my god, that's why you. I mean, bottles do run the world, but still. After the bike scene, Justin deserves to win, even if he's evil. Now, I ain't gonna go there. However, I agree. I do want to see a little bit more of him in those. I get it now. I'll say that. I get it now. Batwoman got to do one good black lesbian on lesbian scene before they ended a crime. No, I would like to. I would like to see that because I don't.
Oh,
it was in this last season.
Mm-hmm. And it was good.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. But I don't. Was it like the motorcycle? Was it a motorcycle type scene?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want. I want more of that. Dang, that's so sad, man. We have to.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, I'm happy this show exists. I'll say that. I'm happy. I'm happy this show exists. What is happening to these accounts? What am I doing? Okay, there we go. I was like, I know it was more than that. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy we got this. I'm happy we have this show and what it is bringing to the table, especially with these queer folks. I'm gonna still blame Claire. I don't know what this comment was for, but I agree and I stand by it. I don't care what we were talking about. I'm going to blame Claire as well. Claire is the reason why. I was in a traffic jam today, leaving work. Claire is the reason why my iron wasn't working when I was trying to iron clothes. Yeah, it's Claire. It's Claire. I don't. Ask me, it's her fault. I'm gonna just say it is. Yes. She really tried to say he was relieved his dad is dead. Oh, no, wait a minute. Go ahead, please.
So I don't know if I don't know if they're saying like that as a surprise. I'm gonna say it wouldn't be unrealistic. I'll say that.
My God,
it gets rough.
This is messy. I genuinely, Lord, I can't read. I think he was genuinely sad his dad is in peril and they may never get to improve their relationship. I could see that. But to me, it just felt like, I mean, I'm not even like saying Tom is a bad person. It felt like that portion of his grief was settled when he realized his dad was alive. But I do understand grieving as a process. I lost my mother 6 years ago, I think, and I'm good most of the time. And then there's that one time, I see, an older woman who look like her, even somebody my age who might say something. I'm like, oh shit. Now I gotta go and put my head under a pillow for 30 days. So I get that, but I was like, oh, this scene is different. This is different. He's alive, yeah, but he's still in major danger. Yeah, because he's floating around in space in a pod. Like, we have not heard from Barton. Barton could be dead. Like,
honestly, wouldn't
you
that be
know,
some shit? He go
that
through
would
all
be
this,
dirty.
make it to the bed.
That would be dirty. I would, if I was Tom, I'm sorry, final girl and everybody. Everybody gonna get it. Everybody. I'm sorry. You did all this and my daddy's still there. Tom was trying to get info out of Rowan, but he was trying to get something else in that lab too. Hey, listen.
And I'm here for it.
He got on that red app and he let me stop. They both walked out of that scene with, I mean, the girls that get it. The girls that
don't.
Yes. They both walked out of that scene with blue balls. Okay. Yes. That is, I agree. Well, one didn't last that long because Tom was. I was wondering how Rowan and Justin had access to the secret observatory interest too, but I am not mad. I'm not mad at all. But I still want to know, like, how y'all just walking. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Tom is a verse king. You know what? I accept this. I accept this, and this is my head canon, and I think this is. I'm gonna take a step further and say this is canon. Tom is the verse king. I can see that. I can see that. I wasn't going to initially bring up titles, but Tom brought it up in the first episode. It was mentioned. He set the precedent. And you know, that motorcycle scene showed us a few things. So yes, I agree. Tom is the verse king. Cameron Johnson said that Tien and Tom represent for the very messy verse kings. And that makes them
But wait, what is the real person represent?
Like, hey, representation matters. I'll say that. Verse Kings matter. I don't know.
He ain't saying the Tom. He said Tien and Tom. Like, why you put the real person into it?
Hey, you know, look, I don't know. If you know like they know, I guess. I don't know. But that is hilarious.
I must be one of the girls who don't get
it. Yo. Oh my God, yes. So Tien, when you hear this is your open invitation to come on to the show. Let's discuss some things. We would love to talk to you. Cameron, same for you. Marquise, God, yes. Just the entire cast. You guys are
let's host a reunion.
I mean, you know, it's already virtual, so let's, you know what I'm saying, we got that. You are the dumbest oh God, yeah. That boy. But tell me this. Do you think we know why he was not present for the final production or whatnot, but do you think Barclay was more important than being present at that event for that last speech?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it sucks that it turned out the way it did, but I mean, on the emotional level and on just the practical level, because like you said, if you get into Barclay, you pretty much got everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you add that on top of the emotional level. Like, yes, he knows his dad is like still alive. His dad is still floating around in space. So he's gonna lose his daddy and Barclay like in the same month. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I agree. Because at first I didn't. I was like, you know what? No, because though Rashida Jones has the money, she's not the only millionaire or billionaire or whatever. She's not the only backing. Though it would have been great to have her, Barclay is the one in a million. The billionaires are not one in a million. So, like, it is what it is. And he's been resourceful this far. And also, Lorraine, pull your weight. You can do something too. Get the Tubmans to finance something. I'm sick of this. Claire pulling her weight with her evil ass.
She pulling
Lorraine, do something.
She pulling Lorraine's weight too.
Oh, you know what?
Did I lie?
You did not lie. However, you did not lie. Wait a minute. Stop. No. Stop. Yeah. What is wrong? Okay, yeah, this show. Okay, so Andre says I'm shooting up the club just not to be an antagonist.
Oh no! I read
say,
this completely different.
hey, I think we're on the same page. Well, I feel like he's on the same page as well. But is he? Because whether he's antagonist or not, I'll let's move on. So he also said, to be honest, I'm mad y'all even suggested that we got beef now. What do you wait? Well,
Probably talking about him being the antagonist.
well, he'd be all right. You know what I'm saying? Get it in. Let me cover my okay, Dunny's Justin. Yeah, you covering them ears, but playback is playback. Justin just may be a bad egg. We're gonna need the uncensored version put on Netflix or something. I don't trust Netflix.
Also that.
I mean, if it go there, fine. But like, give me somebody who's gonna show some skin and yeah, and who like blacks. That is HBO because Netflix is definitely for the racially ambiguous. Jiggly Justin. Okay, now hold up.
I want that. I love that name.
Also, what is this name here? Does it say Chase? What does it say? Oh, Chase Cakes. Okay. Get the back beat on. Okay. We got the Bottom King. Yep. Batwoman. Yes. This is really hilarious to me. Claire, like I know I said it earlier, but Claire said there's not enough homophobia in the world to stop her from seducing that job out of Lorraine. I heard that. And Cameron said that verse comment to Tian's face during the panel. It was the energy Tian was presenting. Oh my God. I can see it. I really want to meet Tian. I think this man is hilarious. And I love his portrayal of Tom, but this verse King comment, I mean, anything you think I meant about the shooting of the hey, because the way I took it was
that's the HBO Max version.
Yes, there we go. That's exactly where my mind was. So there is that. So thank you, Andre, for commenting and saying the things that I may have not initially said on my own. So let's get to round this out with the faves and whatnot. Do you have a favorite character of episode 3? Who is it?
You already know what I'm about to say.
Look, I'm writing it down already. Yeah, you ain't got to go ahead and say
it. My favorite for this episode is Rowan.
I don't know if y'all can see. It's Rowan right there. I already knew. Ain't no thing. You didn't even say nothing. This is for the people. I knew this. Hey.
know.
No, I'm with that. I think that's fair. And though this isn't my favorite, it's my favorite because, like I said in the tweets, call me easy, but it's Justin. For obvious reasons. I will say Justin is my favorite for this episode, and I'll leave it at that. He probably won't be for next episode, but he got his run in this one, as he got run through in this one. So what is your favorite scene?
Now see this.
Hey. Yeah. This is.
I'm gonna spread the love. No, I'm not.
Oh. Yeah.
That's my man, and I'm gonna stick beside him. The scene of Tom in the observatory.
Rowan and Tom. Foreplay scene. Oh, see, though Justin took my favorite because, thick thighs save lives. I have to go with the scene with Isaac. And actually, let me have Andre tell us why. So Andre's favorite character, that's not it, is Isaac. Because he's the one who took care of Lino from training him and checking up on him. And that's honestly my my favorite scene. Really anything with Lino. because this episode, I think they did a really good job at showing Lino as more than just that tag along little brother type character. Like he wants this acceptance from Tom, because Tom is, I don't know if Tom is a father figure or if he's just like a big brother figure, since Barton is not, we didn't get Lino and Barton's relationship. But I really did enjoy Lino this episode, and to a point where I feel like that's my little brother, but that man probably my age. So but all in all, I did like the scenes with Lino, specifically with Lino and Isaac. So I'm gonna go with that one. Because ultimately Isaac is pulling the Jeffrey, and he's like, Lorraine, I'm gonna fuck what you talking about. We gonna find Lino mama and we gonna figure this out. So it gotta be the Isaac, Lino, and also Lino being, this is another thing, Lino being so worried that there's something wrong with him neurologically, which a lot of us have issues, and it may be minor, it may be extreme, but a young person having an issue with like mental health that could possibly be hereditary, that's a lot of weight to take on. Even if you're
No,
just the most regular, normal person, like you can't even enjoy your quote unquote ability because it might be something that, like he said, am I going to go crazy? These are his words, like my mom, you know. So yeah, even though Justin's my favorite, this scene emotionally, it hit me. It took me there.
Okay. No, I feel it. I feel it. See,
Mm.
good. Good.
Yeah,
You did think with your hormones. Good job.
but I mean, Isaac is still in it though, so
Correct. You're right.
so let's not, you know what I'm saying, don't feel like I'm just altruistic. Like I'm really though. But what about a rating? What are we looking at with 1 to 10 Barclays? What are we giving this
See,
episode?
I was thinking about this earlier, and
Mm.
I'm really, if I separate myself from
Mm-hmm.
my hormones
Okay.
and I be honest, I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm floating between 6.5 and 7.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I went with a solid 7. So
Hmm.
I said I
Say
went with
again.
a solid 7. But go ahead. Yes.
Because I think while it's not as bad as whatever, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
as much stuff going on as the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there's some things where like we was kind of going some of everywhere, and
Yeah.
I also agree with your point as far as like what it is that we're doing, particularly with Lorraine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm leaning. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say 6.5
Mm-hmm.
for now.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm letting my hormones
Oh.
talk, it's a solid 10.
Hey,
But
say that again. Say that again. But
but yeah,
listening to you having that solid 7, I kind of want to put it at 6.5 myself, mainly because I like that it has a lot going on. The pilot did as well, but I think, like you said before, the pilots are kind of hard to pull off because you have so much to get done in one
yeah,
episode. Where I feel like this episode has a lot like the pilot, but it's exploring this swift world that we're in. But
hmm,
the Lorraine stuff is really, to me, negative. Like that's not coming off well to me. The Claire
yeah,
Lorraine stuff. So I don't know. I may, if I'm not just looking at Isaac, I may have to put it at a 6.5 as well, because I feel like they could do better. I feel like,
yeah,
and not that this is bad at all by any means, but I do feel like there will be a perfect episode. Perfect is relative, but perfect in the sense that the Lorraine Claire stuff, which gives it a minus for me, will not impact the episode. So I may have to do 6.5 as well. Damn.
yeah.
Because I was thinking about the 6. Honestly and truthfully, I was like, okay, I don't want to give it too high, but that the 6 did it for me. But I may
Yeah.
have to do 6.5 as well, because I think I would imagine this horse ranch black farmer episode might be one that ranks a bit. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna stick with a 7, though I do think 6.5. I'm gonna stick with 7 because that was my first thought.
Okay.
And I may have to walk that back later, but I'm gonna just stick with a 7. But I'm with you and everything you said. At 6.5, damn. Okay. It looks
And
like
again,
there is 20 out of 10 invisible ski detecting monocles for Justin, says Andrea Sante. Now let me tell you something. It ain't gonna be too much more. Let me tell you something about these queers. No, Justin is the winner of my life. 15 out of 10 bougie champagne flutes. No, okay.
There weren't no champagne flutes. That was straight at the bottom.
And give the episode 6.5 out of 10 HBCU bands at the company party. No, that okay. And that's another thing, because though I understand there's limitations with COVID and just with maybe budget, but I did want more. I wanted more. I wanted bigger. I wanted more. But that was kind of a throwaway scene. Not throwaway. That was a smaller scene, so I get it. But I want more. I want more. And the perfect episode is Tom and Justin becoming allergic to clothing. I will write that script. Okay, Andre. You ain't gonna get no argument from me now. I'm just going to suggest that you throw in some, Well, guys, oh my God, this was fun. Do you have any final thoughts? Any predictions? Because it looks like you got some good theories going on here.
No, I think I said all my predictions. My final thoughts, I would just like to say thank you to the writers. You understand your audience.
Hey.
And for that, I am grateful.
Shoot, there before the grace of this show. You know what? Let me stop. We can write that. Honestly, I think between the three of us, we can write a very, very, very good script. So, Tom Swift writers, if you want to do a fan episode, definitely you have 3 writers right here who can get the job done. Just let me write Isaac, please. So guys, this has been Decoding Tom Swift. Please, and Haynes, let these folks know where they can find you and support you and follow you and whatnot.
Yes. You can find me on pretty much everything at Loose as a Deuce. You can see, like, if you want to see a non-hormone driven side of me, you can go to my website, mhaynes.org. But yeah, that's where I be.
Good. Those links will be in the show notes in every single episode. Me, Carefree Blerd on Twitter. That's the most immediate way to get in touch with me. CarefreeBlackNerd everywhere else. But Carefree Blerd on TikTok. I've been trying to pump out consistent content. So if you listening, go over there and follow and, hit a few hearts, talking some mess in the comments. And CarefreeBlackNerd@gmail.com if you have a little bit more to say, or if you got some thoughts and feelings about Tom Swift that you don't want to put on the timeline. Put Tom Swift in the subject or something like that. And until next time, you guys, stay carefree, stay nerdy, stay geeky, and please, whether you be a villain or not, if you got them thick guys to save lives, put on them black panties and hop on that motorcycle and just let it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, give the people what they want. Let them, you know what I'm saying? Let them. Okay, y'all. So, lastly, Andrea said, I've been trying to pump out the Tom and Rowan story. Double entendre. Y'all have a good one, y'all.